But hey, at least you can listen to us weekday mornings 6 to 10 on Unsportsmanlike along with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman right here on ESPN 106.3. Because let's be honest, a billboard couldn't contain this level of greatness.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked number 1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Who would have thought 3 games into the second round on the NBA side of things that the 3 underdogs, the 3 road teams, would be 3-0 outright, not even against the spread, outright. Pacers win, Knicks win, the Nuggets beat the Thunder. The Knicks, most importantly, coming back from down 20 in Boston, 108-105 final in overtime. Boston missed a playoff record, 45 three-pointers. They won 15 of 60 from three-point land. It's Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Colin Russo with you. Alongside me is Mike Rizzo, as always. Christian Cat behind the glass at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. A Tuesday edition of the program, May the 6th, 2025. Think of the NBA postseason. Think of the Stanley Cup postseason. The Florida Panthers dropped Game 1 last night to the Toronto Maple Leafs. A couple things to talk about there, especially with Sam Bennett. Should be a fun show right here next 2 hours on your radio dial at ESPN 106.3 and also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson might be the most clutch player in the postseason at the moment alongside Jokic. 108-105. And watching that game, especially the conclusion part of that game, because I thought that the Celtics, for the most part, were toying with them offensively, toying them, getting any look they want. Life was easy for Boston. When the Knicks started rumbling back in the second half, and Boston's punchback was, let's just swing until we get an open 3 or a semi-contested 3 and fire it away well into deep into the fourth quarter. And whether we're making it or missing it, we're going to live by it and die by it. That's exactly what happened. And honestly, it was pretty, you're almost annoyed watching it. You're happy the Knicks won, because when the Knicks win, it's good for basketball when the New York fan is into it and locked in the whole thing. I was annoyed watching how the Boston Celtics handled that second half just off the shot selection alone.
Totally. And I mentioned to you before, how you get Boston is to take advantage of a cold shooting night. We joked around in our pre-show meeting. This was historically cold. I mean, to miss that many three-pointers is honestly like you can't believe that they're not going to the basket. But that is this NBA. Folks, 15 to 60. Welcome to 2025 in the NBA. Welcome to Boston Celtic ball in 2025. It's what won them a championship. They're not going to stop shooting threes just because they're not going in. The identity of this team is to work the ball around the arc, get open threes, and overwhelm your opponents offensively. I didn't necessarily have a problem with the Celtics doing this, but 63s. We got to start having a conversation with her. So Joe Mazzulla, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum after the game, we were getting good looks. They just weren't going in. Maybe you try to get to the free throw line a little bit more. Maybe you try to put the ball on the ground and get an easy bucket. I understand people being up in arms about 15 of 60, Colin, but my question to that is, what did you expect? What did you expect? That they're just going to completely change how they play and what won them a championship?
The one thing I would expect is when the Knicks are rumbling back and they're cutting it within 8, 9, 10 points, maybe go to the basket once the other. I don't need to see Jason Tatum for the 5th straight possession in a back-and-forth game, which was very intense at the end of regulation, and he's getting a switch with Brunson on him or something like that, or Josh Hart, and he does his little shimmy jump shot for a deep 3, and he misses far through him. He must have missed 4 threes in the last 2 minutes yesterday. It was unbelievable. At a certain point, I'm like, this guy's playing like Paul George. Like, put Paul George on the Celtics. That he would look like Jason Tatum did last night.
Gar.
Very bizarre.
4 of 15. Colin, to your point, 4 of 15 for Jason Tatum from 3. And then Derek White, too. 5 of 16, not to mention Jaylen Brown, shooting 10% from 3, going a whopping 1 of 10.
And to add on to that, the Celtics know how to lose ugly. But the one thing on the flip side of that is the Knicks, it took the Knicks that type of game from Boston in order to come back and win. That is not happening again.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying the Knicks.
Maybe one more game. Maybe one more
How
game.
are you selling me on the Knicks after that game?
Like,
they had to go to overtime. They missed 45 three-pointers.
Right.
And you had to go to overtime to beat them. Come on, man.
Now, you keep it close. Maybe we could have a conversation because Brunson's a great closer. But the idea that the Knicks have the firepower to stick with them, go blow for blow, that's just not the case. Mm-hmm. The Knicks are not going to be able to do this for a 7-game series.
No, and the Celtics aren't going to shoot 35% from the field for 7 to say this.
They're not going to miss 45 threes
Come on.
every game.
Come on.
They're not going to do it. They're going to make 20. They made 2 more threes tonight. This is a different game. So that's what I would say. In terms of how you win, that was a game where, all right, a little fluky. And then you look at the other ones with the Nugget game and the Pacer game. I don't think that was necessarily fluky. Mike would disagree with me on the Pacers front, but we'll get into that a little later. But if I'm the Knicks, you're happy that they stole the game. It was a big jolt of confidence. It's almost the type of game that shows you could hang. The Knicks needed that spiritually.
Right.
They hadn't beat them all year. They hadn't beat any contending team all year. So all of a sudden, you draw blood, and all of a sudden, things change in terms of the mentality.
And maybe something does click. Maybe this is the game that all the Knicks needed to see was one game. But I find it tough to believe that Boston's going to lose game 2 in their own building again. But if you're New York, mission accomplished. Go back to New York, have this thing tied 1-1, and go from there. Listen, Brunson's a great late game player, but 9 of 23 from the field. I'm so tired. I said this last series for the Knicks, and I'm going to say it again. I'm so tired of watching this team play basketball. 9 of 23 for Brunson. It's not a fun watch. The Knicks aren't a fun watch. And watching that game go to double overtime. Kyle, overtime. This was an overtime game, and no team scored over 110 points. In 2025 NBA, that's a mucked up game where nobody was hitting shots. And
I almost like that. I think that's good.
It might be good to have things switch up.
It was 100 at the end of regulation.
42% for the Knicks from the field, 45 from 3. But the Brunson, 9 of 23, fishing for fouls. Listen, 5 of 9 from 3 is great. I'm not trying to take anything away from the performance in Brunson. My big thing today is this isn't sustainable. Not only this series, Colin, I'm not buying any of these underdogs. I know that's the story today. All the underdogs went on the road. Great. That's awesome. I'm still probably going with the favorites in this series. And maybe shame on me for that a little bit. Now, we'll see, and we'll preview a little later on what Golden State's going to be able to do against the Timberwolves. I don't know if that's going to be a situation where we're going to get all four road teams winning. We'll have to wait and see tonight. But I still think the favorites are probably going to find a way to pull this thing out in the three series games, game ones that have already happened.
888-760-3776, a number to get into the program on Russo and Rizzo. That's 888-760-3776. Can any of the underdog teams that have won game 1 in their respective series, that is the Pacers, that is the Knicks, that is the Denver Nuggets, can they go on to win the whole series? Can they beat them in a 7-game spot? Can they do that? Can any of them do that? Let us know. 888-760-3776.
I'll say this about the Knicks. It's nice to see Anunoby have a big game and 29 points. It's nice to see a guy like McBride. For months now, I've been coming on this microphone and screaming how you don't have a bench. The Knicks play 5 guys, whatever. I know it was only 11 points, Kyle, but it was nice to see a guy like Miles McBride contribute in a close game. Like, usually bench players and role players play a lot better at home. Fair play to Anunoby and McBride for showing up in a big spot when the game was close because Boston missed 1,000 3-pointers.
Yeah, Towns would drive you crazy yesterday. Towns was forcing a lot of shots. And Mikal Bridges had a great game defensively. And he didn't even do it. He played the entire game. Played like 50 minutes.
51.
And he was making defensive play after defensive play. It doesn't even look like he was tired. He's that Jaden McDaniels type when he needs to be when the scoring's not there. The one thing I'll say about the Knicks is this was a spiritual win. And maybe this can they could harness a slice of momentum now that they kind of drew blood on the Boston Celtics. But that type of offensive output from Boston is not going to be the everyday. That makes me nervous because Tatum not having a big-time game, Brown not doing enough. And they even talked about it post-game because the big storyline was, why didn't you adjust? You sort of stuck to your game plan through thick and thin. And I believe we have some audios here. And
give us a second.
All right, we'll get the audios in a minute on the flip side. But Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum talked about this post-game, being asked about how do you adjust? Why didn't you adjust? Well, you just lived and died by the three the whole time. Let's listen to what Jason Tatum had to say.
Jaylen
Brown had to say. We have one of them. Jaylen Brown, what he said after the Game 1 loss to the New York Knicks last night. Take a listen.
To be honest, I'm not sure. I think we got to look at it. You know, some of them felt good. Some of them felt like we maybe forced the issue. And definitely our rhythm and our timing was a little bit off. We got a lot of great looks. But, you know, it may be some truth to that. We got to look at the film and see kind of what happened in that second half.
Jaylen Brown post-game after Game 1 saying they got to look back and understand why they were forcing it. The forcing it was the word that he used. I tend to agree. They were forcing every three imaginable.
It's what they do. That's my pushback on this. Guys, this is what the Celtics
But just go to the
do.
basket. One play. Good God. One play. Go to the basket. Oh, my God.
He shot 10 free throws. In Brown's defense, he got to the free throw line 10 different times last night.
We're watching Jason Tatum taking contested threes, trying to win the game time and time again. They're getting offensive rebounds. They're getting second chance opportunities. They're forcing turnovers, and they cannot convert. Shame on me for saying the Celtics should have done more because the Celtics drive you crazy. But you just saw missed opportunity after missed opportunity after missed opportunity all night. And then you saw Jalen Brunson, who has been closing games for the better part of 2 weeks now, up against the Detroit game up till today. That's what you saw.
What do you make of Tatum? I don't know. Like, remember last year, Jaylen Brown won the finals MVP. A lot of people were tough on Tatum. Oh, he didn't have a good run. Let's rewind to when they lost to the Warriors. Tatum had a historically bad NBA finals. Then a game like last night, you go 7 of 23, 4 of 15 from 3. Is Tatum just is he one of those guys where we're going to look back and go, he was all right. You know, he was all right.
The one thing about Tatum is
I don't know what to make of him at this point.
You don't think he's a big-time player? The one thing I'll say is that Game 7 against the 76ers, that's when he had 53 points. He had 53 in a Game 7 in the playoffs.
I just feel like I probably would take 5 or 6 players over him at this point.
Yeah, he's a top 10 player. He's never going to be a top 5
but
player.
At the reason I'm pushing back hard on this, when he first came up, when he was battling with LeBron James in Game 7s, when LeBron was a lone man show in Cleveland his final couple of years, it's like, wow, Tatum he's going to be the quote-unquote face of the league. Like, I hate that conversation, number one, but I understand the conversation for the face of the league stuff. It was Tatum's league for a little bit. And then the big games started to come, and he didn't show up. And in games last night, 7 of 23, it reminds you a bit, Kyle. Like, is he that big-time player? Is he ever going to turn into that big-time player that's going to be able to win you a series?
Well, hold on. He's won a championship. Hold on. Time out. He won a championship.
But Porzingis was unreal. Drew Holiday was Jaylen Brown won the MVP.
They had a good team. Yeah.
Like, he was supposed to be the reason you're winning. He was supposed to be the LeBron factor, the Kobe factor, the Steph factor. I haven't necessarily seen that from Jason Tatum.
No, and you never will. He's never going to be that level of player, but he is I mean, this guy, what is he, 25 years old? He's been to 2 NBA finals. He's been to like 3 additional conference finals at that. He's living at the end of the postseason. He's had like 5 first-team All-NBAs. He's a very good player. He's a great player, if even. That's what he is.
Is he a choker in a big spot?
I can't say that when he's had 53 points in a Game 7, and he played well in that Game 7 against LeBron as well. He's had moments. The thing is, he's had so many opportunities. He doesn't turn up every time. Half these guys are not even getting to the position he's at. You know? How do we know if Gilgeous-Alexander is not a choker or not? Because he's been in the league for 7 years, and he hasn't had the same amount of opportunities that Tatum's had. Tatum's been in a big series every year.
And it's a great team. And it's a great team, and the team probably isn't what it is without him. He's a top 10 player in the league. I understand all that. I thought when Tatum came up, he was going to be the next big thing. Kyle, I haven't necessarily seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it, but got to be honest.
He's a corny player. He's got that the pseudo Mamba mentality type of thing going for him. I agree with the idea that Tatum's never going to take that. I don't know if he'll ever take that next step, but he's 26, I believe. So he's been in the league for about 8 years, and he's done a whole lot in that short amount of time. Now, he didn't play on that Olympic team. Maybe Steve Kerr was onto something. But
there are a lot of guys who played like him that are better than him. Like, look at the guys who were playing over him,
so
right?
That's the idea. He's a top player, but he's not going to be the best player on the court in most huge games. That's the problem. He will never be the top 3 that is somewhat required of guys who are, top players, the biggest stars in the league. He's never going to be that. He plays for a team that's bigger than him. And a lot of these stars, Anthony Edwards is bigger than the Timberwolves.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like LeBron is bigger. I mean, the Lakers might be tricky, but he was bigger than Cleveland. He was bigger than Miami.
Yep.
There's a lot of stars. Curry is bigger than the Warriors. He is.
The two brands, let's call it spade a spade. The two brands are the Lakers and the Celtics.
Yeah, but Giannis
it's what it is.
Giannis is bigger than the Bucks. Jokic is bigger than the Nuggets. Tatum will not be bigger than the Celtics because the Celtics are the Celtics. Bird wasn't bigger than the Celtics. So he's in a tricky spot in terms of taking that next step as a big-time star because he's not necessarily harnessing and collecting individual accolades, but he's a reliable player because he's been there. He is as experienced as anybody has ever been at this point in their career at his age. That's what we could say.
I think you put it better than anyone could, and I just go back to I don't trust him in a big spot. I just don't. Now, Kyle, if I could flip it back to that series real quick. You want to know what game, and maybe shame on me for completely dismissing the Knicks in Game 2. I expect the Celtics to bounce back in a big way. The game I'm looking at is Game 3 in Madison Square Garden. I think that's going to have big implications on how this series is going to go. If the Knicks are able to steal Game 3 and go up 2-1, that I think really puts the pressure on a guy like Jason Tatum, the two stars in Tatum and Brown, to have a big response in that Game 4. And like I said, maybe I am in the wrong. Tell me if I'm in the wrong. I completely dismissing this Game 2 coming up in a couple of days. But that Game 3, I think, is the game I'm waiting for. I can't wait to watch in this series, the first game at MSG.
Yeah, I think the Celtics are going to be fine in that series. I'm more worried about the two other teams, the Cavaliers and the Thunder, than I am the 2-1 seeds, than I am about the Celtics, weirdly enough.
Wow.
That championship pedigree, the championship blood. If you're looking at Cleveland, they're battle-tested holistically. But this postseason, the first time they were really challenged was Game 1, and they lost. Thunder, the same thing. The Grizzlies couldn't even hold a candle to what the Thunder were doing. All of a sudden, they play a great big when they got Chet Holmgren, who's all right, and Isaiah Hartenstein, who is all right defensively. And then you get Jokic put up 44 points and 22 rebounds. That was their first big test, and they failed. That's where I get nervous. Boston's had big tests before. Boston has lost big games before. It's a good postseason team. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about the other two.
That's fair. And I think Oklahoma City, to your point, really, I think, did not show up in that second half. The first half was they had that 10-point lead at halftime. You felt pretty good if you were a Thunder fan. And then all of a sudden, the Joker turned into the 2-3-time MVP that we know and love.
Right. And it was a 6-point game with 1:50 to go. And then all of a sudden, and the Thunder handled their we're going to get into this on the flip side.
Yeah.
But the Thunder handled the end of that game so poorly, fouling in bad spots. The thing about the Thunder is they got Gilgeous-Alexander, and then they got a bunch of great role players. That's the big problem. We're talking about that game next. We'll talk about a little Pacers and Cavaliers. A lot more to do. We're going to talk to Joe Fortenbaugh of ESPN Radio. You can hear him on Joe and Q 12 to 3 Eastern time right here on ESPN 106. We also see him on a bunch of smattering of ESPN programs. Get Up, you name it, Sports Center, and First Take. We'll talk to him at the top of the hour, 5 o'clock. Stick around for that. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Improve your golf game fast at the all-new Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center has the facilities, tools, and coaching you need. Enjoy the best facilities in the area with an expansive chipping and putting area, practice bunkers, a huge putting green, plus a 2,000 square foot indoor training area with 3 hitting bays, cutting-edge analysis technology, and more. The Kaiser University Golf Coaching Center in the heart of Palm Beach County off I-95 and the Turnpike. Find out more at kaisergolfcenter.com.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom! That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Yingling Traditional Lager, a beer that, like true legends, stands the test of time. Brewed by the same family for nearly 200 years, it's a crisp amber lager with a bold, smooth flavor that's perfect for game day. Whether you're cheering from the stands or watching from your favorite bar, Yingling is the taste of tradition. Yingling, legends stand the test of time.
F45 Training in downtown West Palm and Wellington offers functional group fitness classes reimagined. F45 features high-intensity group-style workouts that are fast, fun, and results-driven. They always have the right workout for you. The best part is, it takes just 45 minutes. If you're looking to train for something like High Rocks, F45 has you covered with tailored workouts. Get started today with a promo of your first 3 classes for just $30. Visit F45training.com to find a studio near you and officially join the F45 family. F45, team training, life-changing.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Been a car accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall at an accident of any kind. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys, the type to fight for you. I know with Anajar and Levine, they got my back no matter what. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today, because that's the Anajar and Levine difference. All it takes is one phone call to take back control of your life today. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation now. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Gatt from the Sleep Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. Russo and Rizzo, the second of the underdogs to win and flip home court on the NBA side was the Denver Nuggets, who beat the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 1, 121-119. Aaron Gordon hits a go-ahead 3 to take the lead with about 4 seconds remaining. Another huge play for him. He won the most important game in that series, in that Los Angeles Clipper game in Game 4, when he had that tip in as clock expired to escape that game, and that saved the series for them, because if they fell down 3-1, they were not getting back into that series.
Yep.
And he won that game, and that was after the Clippers had a 30-9 run. They had all the momentum in the world. They did not want to go to overtime at all. And he does it last night, against the Thunder, who was the best team in the league in terms of the regular season. and they're able to punch him in the mouth a little bit. The first big test for the OKC, and all of a sudden now they're on the backs against the wall a little bit, down 1-0 in the series. I got to give the Nuggets credit. I got to give Jokic credit. Jokic had an ugly game. I think 7 turnovers, I believe he had, but he had 44 points, 22 rebounds. You almost have to deal with that at that point, and he hits big shots after big shots. Now, the one thing about this is we said it with the Celtics on the flip side. The Celtics are battle-tested, battle-experienced. OKC is not.
They're not.
They shriveled a bit against Dallas last year. I'd be nervous right now, at least a little bit, if I was the OKC Thunder.
Yeah, and I worry about the second half performance big time. They really had a good foothold on this game in the first half. I thought Shai Gilgeous-Alexander actually had a really good game. I mean, you look at the stat line, he shot damn near 50% from the field and 33 points with 10 rebounds and 8 assists. He was 2 assists away from a triple-double.
Didn't have a lot of help.
He didn't. And it's crazy I'm saying that, Kyle, because he didn't have a lot of help in the second half because all 5 of the starters went double digits. Alex Caruso had 20 points off of the bench. This was just... I think the Nuggets came out and showed their experience. Would you agree on this? They showed their experience on how to show up in a big game. They're a championship pedigree team. Now, I understand their bench of Peyton Watson, and listen, fair play to Westbrook. Guy had 18 points. But their starting 5 of Gordon, Porter, Jokic, Murray, and Christian Brown, this is a team that's been together for 3-4 plus years. That's a starting 5 that knows what each other is thinking out there. They know where they're going on the court, and they know where they want the ball. I think there's something to be said about Denver and their experience in this series. I just think I think the fresh legs of Oklahoma City, I think, is going to be something. I don't know if Denver has the legs to keep up a 7-game series against OKC. The OKC players are young. I think they're hungry. They're unproven. I completely agree with you there. The experience of the Nuggets could overwhelm them at times in this series, but I'm going with the fresh legs and the youngness of OKC to ultimately propel them in this series, and I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is that dude. I've told you this multiple times this year, Kyle. I think he is that guy. Now, I think we're splitting the hairs. Jokic is probably the MVP of the league. That's another conversation.
I think Shai's probably going to win it, but yes.
Correct. And I agree with you there that the Joker probably deserves it, but Shai is still a bad man. I'm going to go with the young, fresh legs of Oklahoma City in a 7-game series here rather than the 5. I think Denver is 5 guys. I think Oklahoma City is a lot more deeper than that.
And OKC gave, through the Denver Nuggets, a couple bones there at the end of the game. Jokic picked up his 5th foul late in the second half, and they were kind of playing safe with him. So because of that, they had to do a little offense-defense. What I mean by that is one lineup for offense, and Jokic is on the floor, and then they go on the defense when they get an opportunity at the end of the game. That's when they get Jokic out of the game so they can play a bit more aggressively so nobody goes after Jokic. And then Thunder, on the flip side, decided to play the free throw game. Intentionally foul the Nuggets. They did it twice in the last 30 seconds of the game, where they don't even let any time tick off the clock. 12 seconds to go, they wait 1 second, intentionally foul. They make both free throws, keeping them at bay, up 3. Then all of a sudden, Chet Holmgren, who has a chance to keep it up 3, and they're up 1, and he has 2 free throws, and he misses both of them. That gives them every opportunity to get Aaron Gordon an open 3 and then win the game.
Yep.
That killed the game.
That
is lack of experience right there. That is what sort of shut the door on your chances to win game 1. So you did,
Kyle. I thought you were a fan of the fouling. I thought you were a fan of that. In these situations.
So yes, college especially because of the free throws.
Okay.
But NBA players, the way I look at it is, if you're going to do it, you're going to play the free throw game, and you're going to be up 3. The opposing team has the ball, and there's 15 seconds to go. If they're beyond half court, they're in the back court, we don't need to intentionally foul.
I'm with you.
You let them kill a couple seconds, and you want to play that game. And Dagnall, the head coach of the OKC Thunder, said he wouldn't change it. He likes that strategy. He wouldn't change a thing. But if you're going to do that, kill some clock. Mm-hmm. And the worst part is they got Jokic on the sideline checking back into the game for the offense-defense when they're doing this, and they're intentionally fouling, giving them an opportunity to get Jokic back in the game on offense. If anything, dare the team to score without him on the floor.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think in the NBA specifically, you got to make them beat you. You got to make them beat you.
Please.
And I'm even on the fan on the college side, but I understand college players miss free throws. I definitely understand it more on the college side. But I still would like my players to play out the game and see what happens rather than do that. But I understand both sides of it. I'm never a fan of the fouling. I get the game plan by Oklahoma City, but God, you were the worst team in the second half, man. I'd roll the dice, right? I would roll the dice with my team in a spot like that and hopefully pull out a close game.
The idea is just get the ball out of Jokic's hands. And I know Aaron Gordon was the one that beat you, and that was on a fast break opportunity.
You live with that? Do you live with that, by the way?
You don't live with that, but he misses 2 free throws. You don't live with the fact that it's not like that was a 5-on-5 possession and then he got an open 3. It was a two missed free throws from Chet Holmgren.
You don't live with the free throws. I apologize, but you live with that look for Aaron Gordon, I think. I think I do, Kyle.
It was open. I understand the point. Just anybody but Jokic is the point, especially after he had the 3 that cut it within 1, and then all of a sudden he made 4 free throws. He had another back down on Alex Caruso. He took over in the fourth quarter. He was dominant. This is such a different series for him because the Clippers threw so much at him that he couldn't deal with in terms of a physicality standpoint. And then he goes against Chet Holmgren, who's 200 pounds soaking wet. And they got Isaiah Hartenstein, who's solid, but cannot go stride for stride with Jokic, especially defensively. So that's where they get in trouble. And if you get an opportunity where Jokic's going to be on the court, off the court with 5 fouls and at some point in the late fourth quarter, take advantage of that. You got to be cognizant of whether he is on the floor or not and whether you could take advantage of killing a couple, either they kill a timeout or you kill a couple seconds here and there. That would be my takeaway.
Fair play to David Edelman, that head coach, because Porter had a bad game and he was playing Westbrook down the stretch. I like that.
They got 6 guys.
That's it.
And if 4 play well, they play.
That's
and then
it.
Jokic is going to play no matter what.
Exactly. That's why, and to that point, and what I explained earlier, that's why I still like Oklahoma City in this. They're fresher legs. They're younger.
They're deeper.
And I get the experience card. Maybe the Nuggets are able to fluster the young players on Oklahoma City all series long. I'm still going to go with Oklahoma City in this series. I'm not there. My big takeaway of this, the 3 road teams
Can't write home about it.
I'm not sold on it. I still think Cleveland will win that series. I still think Oklahoma City is going to win the series. And I still think Boston will win the series. I loved it, though, as an NBA fan. What did we hear all season long? These games stink. Nobody's watching. Man, the NBA was good last night. Now, it ended way too late. And my God, it was 1 a.m.
These games do not need to start. These games do not need to start at 9:30.
We had a 10 a.m. sales meeting this morning. I was running late to a 10 a.m. sales meeting because I'm up till 1 a.m.
A 9:30 game starts at 9:55. 9:50. These games do not start on time. They start 15, 20 minutes late. These games do not need to start Eastern time to cater to what fan? In Oklahoma City, that's Mountain fan. That's Mountain time. That's 7:30. I don't understand why it can't be 6:30 and 9.
I almost texted you, but I knew you were sleeping because you're training for your Ironman.
I woke up and then at 4 a.m. this morning, I watched the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter.
I'm in bed.
I went to bed at some point. I don't know. Must have been 8-9 minutes left in the third quarter, and then I woke up, saw that it was a close game back and forth, and then I was able to the NBA posts this stuff, so you could just watch the entire fourth quarter, and I just watched the last 5-6 minutes, and I got a feel for how they blew the game, and that's really that was the feel I got.
The worst part about that for me last night, Kyle, I stay up for the game till 1 a.m. and whatever. I couldn't go to bed after. Like, I'm tired. I'm watching the game.
You're locked on the screen.
I'm tired. I'm watching the game. Like, I'm dozing off during the game. The moment I turn the TV off and try to go to bed, I'm tossing and turning for an hour. I don't get to bed till 2:30. I mean, my God. Like I said, running late for a 10 a.m. sales meeting. Come on, Riz. I got to figure. First off, come on, me, number 1. But number 2, NBA, can we figure this thing out a little bit?
Start at 9.
Dude, help us out. Throw me a bone.
Start on time.
Throw me a bone. I'm a night owl, too. I usually don't get to bed till around midnight. But my God, 1 in the morning.
It was worse last round when they had these games starting at 10, which is disgraceful for the Eastern Coast fan. Central Time is the best for watching sports.
It is.
Without a doubt.
By far.
Not a question.
And I've lived it for 3 years. I've lived it for
Not
3
a question.
years.
Not a question. And having these games end at 11:15, 11:30 is more than manageable.
You lived it for 4 years.
More than manageable. I love a game starting at 6. A major game starting at 6 or 7 o'clock is perfect. 7:20 Sunday Night Football instead of 8:30 makes a big difference.
It does.
And maybe this sounds old of us, but this is the truth. The majority of the big metropolitan sports cities are on the Eastern Seaboard. Unless You're thinking about Los Angeles. You're thinking about Dallas. You're thinking about Denver. You're thinking about Chicago. Fair. But you got New York City. You got Philadelphia. You got Washington. You got Miami. You got Atlanta. You got all these in the Eastern Seaboard.
To that point, too, you mentioned Texas. They're Central Time. They're fine.
They're fine.
They're fine. You're really catering to L.A. Who's watching sports in L.A. outside of the Lakers and the Dodgers?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, they're talking about who's going to be the new coach for the Lakers. They're not playing tonight.
San Francisco.
They're not playing
tonight.
tonight.
Out of San Francisco. No, not San Francisco. Portland fans?
Stop it. The Rose City? Stop it. They haven't been relevant in a decade.
Start the games just a little earlier.
Sorry, Portland.
It makes a big difference.
No, I didn't mean to.
It's all right. I don't think. I
didn't mean to go after Portland.
If you're from
like
Portland,
that.
you're upset. 888-760-3776.
The Rose City, baby.
Mike Rizzo is unhappy. Have you been to that city?
Never. The Western Seaboard cities that I've been to are San Diego and Los Angeles. That's it. I've
not been to San Francisco.
Never been to San Francisco. It's my auntie Vicky's favorite city too.
Nice city. Good sports scene.
My great grandparents, before they moved back to Cleveland, they lived in San Jose for 20 years.
Yeah. Oracle Park is awesome. Yeah. Right in the water. That's worth it. Dude, the problem is the football stadium's like 30 minutes outside of town.
Now your dad's a Giant fan. Is that where they play Oracle Park?
Oracle,
okay,
yeah.
I always get it.
Yeah,
confused.
and it's a great park.
I want to go there. I want to go there.
Great park. Top 5 park in the league.
I want to go there. And I grew up watching, God, what was that TV show in San Francisco?
Full House.
Yeah. Grew up watching Full House. The city always looked dope.
Yeah.
The city always looks.
It's got problems, but yeah.
For sure.
It's good.
What city?
I think it's dangerous, but
probably.
Again, what city is it?
What city is it?
Yeah. Well, what city? Yeah. LA is great. San Diego, probably the most underrated city in the United States.
I love it. Kyle, I love LA. I can't
like
live
LA
there.
too.
I can't
I do
live
like
there.
LA. People hate on LA. I like LA.
I can't live there, but my uncles, I told you, I grew up visiting my uncles out there. God, I have core childhood memories.
Yeah. LA feels...
Core childhood memories.
There's a vibe to LA that works.
Oh, it's unreal.
It's laid back.
Dude, go to LA in June.
Good weather.
June in LA is
it's the best weather in the country.
Yep.
The weather never gets that crappy. It's dry. But the sports scene is pretty good. The problem is the Dodgers, if you're in the thick of the day or an hour and a half uptown, you get the Lakers in the thick of downtown. You got SoFi out west. You got the USC. It's just too hard to get to these places.
Kyle, I got to say, traffic in LA, forget about it. So I tell my uncles.
That's your saying?
Forget about it.
That's your saying?
The traffic, my saying is the traffic in LA, forget about it, obviously not. But the traffic in LA, forget about it. Yeah, I coined that.
Yeah.
I coined that.
LA, yeah, the traffic stinks in LA, but I do think it's a good city.
It's unreal.
You know what city stinks? I don't know if you'll like this. Dallas. Dallas stinks. There's nothing to Dallas.
Can I have a shameful moment on air right now?
You've never been to Dallas. Your sister lived there.
My sister has lived there for 2 years.
You've never been there.
Some of my core best friends in college from Ohio University I graduated with, 5 of them moved out there immediately when we got out of school.
You haven't been there yet?
I've never been to Dallas.
You can get there from PBI.
I've never been to Dallas.
You can get there from PBI. You can
Trust
get there
me,
tomorrow.
I know. Trust me, I know. It's shameful. I've never been to Dallas.
You think LA is spread out? Wait till you get to Dallas. That city is spread out. You can't walk. There's no walkability.
So my dad stays at the Crescent there, and he swears by it.
Yeah, I don't know about.
He says the Crescent and downtown Dallas. He loves it. They eat at the Nobu. My dad can't get enough of Dallas.
Really? Yeah, I'm not a Dallas guy. I'm not.
But you've been. I can't have an opinion.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah. I can't have an opinion. Now, Katy Trail, my boy Ope. You know, one of my best friends, Ope, lives out there. He says Katy Trail's great.
Yeah.
My sister tells me that area is great.
The city's too spread out. That's the problem. City's way too spread out. You can't walk anywhere.
But Texas is elite. From everything that I hear, Texas is kind of an elite place to live.
I've never been to Austin. That's on the bucket list. I've been to Houston once. Other than that, I've been to Fort Worth a number of times.
That's TCU, right?
Yes, I've been to TCU twice. So
you seen a game? How's that stadium?
Not bad. But Dallas, I don't think is a big time city. I don't. I would not put that on my list.
Jerry Jones.
I wouldn't put that on my list if I was finding a new city to live. I wouldn't put that on.
Fair enough.
I'd put San Diego. I don't think everybody wants to get out of California. I don't know, but
San Diego's great.
I'd give it a rip.
Oh,
I'd probably want to get out in 2 years. I'd give it a rip.
Kyle, I would get season tickets to the Padres if I moved out there too.
You have to.
I probably would.
You have to.
Which
is why it drove me absolutely crazy. I've told you this story. When my sister, she lived out there for 6 months, 5 months. Met her boyfriend out there.
Well, they're not sports fans, Kyle.
No. They went on a dozen plus dates. I think it was like 13 dates. When they first started dating, he didn't take her to one Padre game.
They're not sports fans.
Hold on. The guy is born and raised in San Diego. You don't go to one Padre game?
Has he ever been to a Padre game?
He brought her to his favorite pie shop.
All right. I got it. Listen, I got an issue with that.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Go to Petco Park. You're in the summer in San Diego. You got the airport right downtown. You can see the planes taking off from the stadium. It's downtown. It's a cool area. It's an awesome ballpark. And with a good team, go to a game.
Kyle, they're Notre Dame people. They rather go to a tea shop.
He is not a Notre Dame people. She is Notre Dame people.
You know, the type, right? He's the type. They rather go to a tea shop and talk about the latest book they're reading. Fair play to him. Fair play to him.
You don't live in San Diego, go on dates, and not include that in Petco Park. You don't do it.
I'm with you. I'm sure everyone listening to this show is with you. But your sister went to Notre Dame and boyfriend, fair play to him, who's just like her.
It's a top 2 park in the Major League Baseball.
They rather go to a tea shop and talk about the Mockingbird. Fair play to him. Who am I to judge?
I disagree with that. Fundamentally.
What's the saying? Different
strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
It's a baseball game. You don't need to be a baseball fan to enjoy a baseball game.
Kyle, we'd be there screaming at Tatis the whole game.
But point being, it's a date. That's a date location. You're in San Diego. You can't go to the zoo every date. I mean, at a certain point,
go to the beach.
You go to the beach. You can't go to the beach every date.
Yeah, you're right.
At a certain point, walk in to Petco, get a seat up high, have a beer, have a hot dog, and enjoy yourself. I had a major problem with that. The first time I met the guy was at my sister's graduation in Notre Dame, and he didn't go to Notre Dame, so he flew in for it. And the first thing I said, my dad and I blitzed him. And this guy, nice guy, not the, he's not an outspoken one, Yeah, so this was a complete out of left field. And I'm like, his name's Cam Colin. Nice to meet you. Why didn't you go to a game at Petco when you were taking Kira out on dates? He was at a loss for words.
Yeah, dude,
And my dad agreed, and then we kind of teamed up on him, and we're like, pie shop? What are you going to do at a pie shop?
I'd pay some serious money to hear you and the dog blitz
What are you doing at a pie shop?
You guys are two peas in a pod.
What a waste of time.
I would pay some serious money to hear that.
What a waste of time.
I would have done the same thing, though. But, Kyle, you're like, my sister's into sports. Your sister's not into sports. So I get it. Believe it or not, I get it. Now, the issue is this, Kyle, the guy's not a sports fan. Is that going to float? Is that going to float with you guys? He's still around, too. It's been a couple of years, right?
I will buy tickets for them to Petco.
They won't go.
Pry their eyes open on the third base line and make them watch the game if I have to.
Now, was she fired up about Notre Dame in the championship?
Yeah, they went to the championship together. But they're not. But who got them tickets to that?
The dog.
The Russo family did.
The dog.
And he went to that game, no problem. This is where they're phonies.
I see. I agree. All right, I'm with you now. I totally agree with you now.
Oh, now you're a big Notre Dame fan, huh?
Totally agree.
They went to the national title game.
Because they're relevant. Yeah, I totally agree. That's phony.
That's phony.
It's very, very much. I'm happy the Buckeyes beat them.
That's phony.
OH.
That's a waste of time.
It is.
If you're living in San Diego, you go to a Padre game. It's like you go to Times Square if you're in New York City.
You go to a Padre game. It's a rite of passage.
You go to a Padre game.
Correct. Great stadium.
Great ballpark. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, 888-760-3776. Am I crazy for thinking that Petco Park is a must if you go on 13 dates in San Diego? Or San Diego aficionados, please call in 888-760-3776.
I mean, the donut shop is a bit crazy.
It's a pie shop. Pie shop.
What book were they reading? They were reading
I don't know.
something.
That doesn't interest me. I have no idea.
What do they do? Let me ask you the last thing. What does your sister do for spare time? What does she do for fun?
She's a writer. Well, she does that for work.
Okay.
She's a writer.
So what is she watching TV shows?
Yeah, she has normal hobbies.
Okay.
But she likes the books.
She's a scribe.
She doesn't like the sports. Unless it's Notre Dame.
You drove it.
And she couldn't pick Riley Leonard out of a lineup. The guy could be in her backyard screaming with a bullhorn.
How about Marcus Freeman?
She would have not a chance.
Come on.
Would have no idea who they are.
Come on, dude. Freeman, good-looking guy. Definitely she could pick up Marcus Freeman. She knows Marcus Freeman.
Maybe. Doubt it. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The playoffs are heating up, but your home shouldn't. Stay cool with EDS air conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll, safety's the goal.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Cane's is coming soon to Tamarack at University and Commercial.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida the wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling, call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Is your credit on life support? Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Local bank representatives will be on site to grant special approval to consumers who meet certain minimum criteria. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach wants to approve you so you can drive home your new Kia today. Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. Hello, is this thing on? I repeat, Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach will be hosting a credit clinic at the dealership today and tomorrow. If you have a job bringing home $350 weekly, the credit clinic wants to approve you for a new Kia today. So what are you waiting for? Don't miss the credit clinic today and tomorrow at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or go online at greenwaykiawestpalmbeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
Credit affects down payment and approval term.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
You know, we're in the thick of the Stanley Cup. We're in the thick of the NBA playoffs. But fast forward just about a month from now, mid-June, I think you got some more action to look forward to, Mike.
We do, and it's starting at Hard Rock. Inter Miami, folks, is going to be the inaugural match coming up for the Club FIFA World Cup. And the Club FIFA World Cup will take place across the country all summer. This is the first time the tournament will take place in this format, featuring 32 teams all competing for the FIFA World Cup trophy. Club FIFA World Cup trophy, excuse me. The tournament includes 12 teams from Europe, 6 from South America, 4 from Asia, 4 from Africa, and 4 from North and Central and South America and the Caribbean. There are teams everywhere. Miami, as I mentioned, is the host city for the 2025 FIFA World Cup club opener, and none other than our own Inter Miami Herons are going to be playing at Hard Rock Stadium and a top club. So make sure you get your tickets. You can get your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets. Go to FIFA.com/tickets. You can purchase your tickets there, not only for the Club FIFA World Cup in Miami, but at all of these other places where the fixtures are going to be taking place. Now, I mentioned Inter Miami with Lionel Messi, Jordi Alba, Luis Suarez, and Sergio Busquets. You got the likes of Real Madrid, the mighty Ala Madrid, coming into town with Kylian Mbappe, Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham. Bayern Munich with Kaiser Harry Kane, Jamal Musiala at Boca Juniors as well with Edison Cavani. Cavani, former Inter Milan player, former Manchester United player, former PSG players. The stars are all across coming up at Hard Rock Stadium. Get your tickets now at FIFA.com/tickets. That is FIFA.com/tickets. The Club FIFA World Cup in the inaugural game getting kicked off June 14th at Hard Rock Stadium.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. We're going to have Joe Fortenbaugh of Joe and Q on ESPN Radio 12 to 2. You can hear that right here on ESPN 106.3. We'll have him join us next segment. That should be a lot of fun. We also got Steve Politziner joining us a little later on in the second hour. The Toronto Maple Leafs took game one at home against the Florida Panthers last night, 5-4 in the second round of the eastern side of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And more importantly, I had a problem. I'm surprised people are kind of back and forth on this, but you see, especially when you see the highlight above with Sam Bennett and that elbow to the back of the head of Stolarz, the goalie of Toronto, and he got a puck to the face mask earlier in the game, but late second period when Sam Bennett gets kind of pushed into him, but the elbow is out into the back of the head. Immediately after he vomits. So concussion symptoms immediately.
God.
They get him out of the game. All of a sudden, a little bit of momentum for the Florida Panthers there. And I'm going around and I'm seeing this, and people, it's almost like a split decision on whether Craig Berube, the head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, went post-game and said it was clear as day. They didn't call a penalty, but it was an elbow to the back of the head, especially to the goalie. Now you got a little bit of a chippy series here because of that play. I thought that Sam Bennett play was dirty.
Who doesn't think that's dirty?
I thought that was
dirty. He went out of his way to elbow the back of his neck. If you're sitting here trying to spin that wasn't dirty.
And he gets shoved in. Shoved into him. Why did you don't need to put your shoulder out. Oh.
If you're sitting here trying to sell me that it wasn't dirty, you also going to tell me you got a bridge to sell me in Brooklyn? I mean, what are we talking about here? And the last time I checked, if I could loop in our fantastic producer of this show, Christian Cat, listen, we do a thing called Let's Go Streaking, where we pick games against the spread with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet. We should have known that the Panthers were going to lose this one last night, Christian.
Yeah, I did my job. What can I say?
Yeah. Now, if for those of you that don't know, Let's Go Streaking is where we make picks against the spread with our good friends at Hard Rock Bet. Could be not against the spread. Could be anything. Could be an over-under. We do Battle of the Bets a lot on there. Download the app, the Hard Rock Bet app today, regardless. But Christian, who's on an L5, picked the Panthers to win last night by, I think it was, 1.5?
No, straight.
Just straight up. Colin, we should have known, Christian on an L5, that the Panthers are going to have some malarkey.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm on the losing streak. Not you're welcome to Panthers fans, but you're welcome to the fans of the show that wanted to make some cash because I told you to fade me, and you would have cashed out if you did.
Was that dirty?
Yeah.
It was dirty.
Yeah, and Stolarz, who's a former Florida Panther himself from last year, and he's elbowing him in the back of the head, and then he's going to vomit on the side of the ice. There's no defender near him. You're in the blue. Oh, my God. I'm surprised nothing was called in the moment, number one. And number two, I mean, now you're going to miss a couple games out of Stolarz here. This shifts the series paradigm a little bit. I'd consider suspending him.
Christian, is this a point in the series where we're going to see a few gooners trying to hit some people for Toronto, trying to hit some people for the Panthers for retaliation?
It feels like regular season talk. These penalties are too important. You can't have a guy off the ice for 5 minutes and all of a sudden you put yourself in a 2-0 hole. I don't know. The retaliation will happen, but it won't be blatant.
It'll be chippy, but they're not going to.
Don't you got to take care of your own? Don't you got to take care of your own?
But there's a level to it.
Come on, Kyle. You got to take care of your own here.
I agree. It was cheap. It was cheap. I was not a fan of that play whatsoever.
If you're a Panther fan out there and don't think that was cheap, what are we doing?
I want to hear 3776. If you thought that Sam Bennett play was clean in the spur of the moment, whatever you thought, inadvertent, if you want to use that word, let us know. 888-760-3776. Knocking Anthony Stolarz, the goalie of the Toronto Maple Leafs, out in the late part of the second period. The Toronto Maple Leafs steal game one, 5-4 final score. The game was not that close as the score indicates. But nonetheless, Sam Bennett elbowing him in the back of the head. He got hit in the face mask with a puck on the previous side of that. And that maybe spurred the concussion. Maybe he was already concussed. Who knows? But the point being is he got elbowed in the back of the head, and he immediately started showing major symptoms for a concussion. All right. Then what? He was concussed before? Then why did this just cause that?
Right.
Why did this elbow just cause that?
It wasn't.
And now that's the crucial point in terms of an injury, a crucial miss if they don't have Stolarz. No penalty in the moment. I'd consider some punishment now. That's just my personal.
You were high on Toronto coming into this. You thought Toronto had theme magic and mojo.
I like Florida. I do. Florida's a lot of fun to watch. They're much better than their record indicates, and they're experienced. Everybody knows this. But Toronto's dangerous. People want to write off Toronto just because of their history. It's a different coach. It's a different feel. They almost got nothing to lose, everything to gain, because everybody's expecting them to fall apart. But they continue to surprise people, especially if they beat Florida. They had 20 of 23 NHL analysts on ESPN choose the Panthers to win the series. 20 of 23. That's bad mojo.
It is.
And then when you elbow a goalie in the back of the head, bad mojo. I'd be nervous right now.
The three pillars of this show is theme, magic, and mojo. And I'll tell you what, the Maple Leafs got a lot of that. We talk about how in order to break curses and streaks, something crazy. I say, is this the year? Is this finally the year for the Mapes?
Maybe.
Might be, bud.
Maybe.
Might be.
We talked about theme, magic, mojo. Now we got to bring in the numbers. We'll talk to Joe Fortenbaugh of Joe and Q on ESPN Radio. You can hear him on a fixture of ESPN programming. He's the betting guy himself. We'll talk to him on the flip side of things as we enter into the second hour here of Russo and Rizzo right here on ESPN 106.3.
Mike Rizzo here with the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. The Club FIFA World Cup is set to begin coming up this June. We're a little under a month away from the Club FIFA World Cup beginning in Miami June 14th, and none other than the Inter Miami Herons are going to be a part of that opening match. It's going to be Inter Miami versus Al Ahly. Al Ahly is a top Egyptian Premier League team, and Inter Miami recently got knocked out of the CONCACAF Champions Cup in the semifinal round, so they will be gearing up for the Club FIFA World Cup and also the MLS playoffs, which will come later on in the season. This is the Sports Business Minute presented by the FAU MBA in Sport Management Program. Accelerate your career in sports with the program committed to developing top-notch executives and managers with a focus on the job placement for students and graduates. The FAU MBA in Sport Management Program.
Flight by Yuengling. It's the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated. Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
This Mother's Day, give Mom a gift with endless possibilities. Give her a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach. The Breakers gift card lets you treat Mom to all the things she loves, like irresistible oceanfront getaways, lessons at the Breakers' new golf and racket club, pampering at the exquisite spa, and shopping at the resort's stylish collection of boutiques. Gift cards may also be used for dining at the Breakers' renowned restaurants and bars, including Echo, Henry's Palm Beach, HMF, and Flagler Steakhouse. And now, for a limited time, when you purchase a $500 gift card online at thebreakers.com, you'll receive an additional $50 on that card, compliments of the Breakers. You can never repay Mom for all she's done, but a gift card to the Breakers Palm Beach is a great way to start. Visit thebreakers.com today.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Did you miss Theoretically Speaking?
We have on Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike.
I turned to Canty and I was like, yo, Theo's on Good Morning America. Knowing you definitely have someone on the inside that's a producer of something. And you sent your own stuff. That's how I played this out in my head.
I do know somebody who's a high-ranking producer with Good Morning America. I shot him a text. I'm like, yo, I know you had something to do with this. And he's an honest dude. He was like, I wish I could take credit for it, but I don't even know how that happened.
It's Theoretically Speaking, weekdays at 2, here on ESPN 106.3.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
Call into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Kicking off the second hour here on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3, May the 6th, 2025, a beautiful day in South Florida. Welcoming in a special guest. It's Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, Christian Cat, as always, down at the City Place. And welcome in, you can hear him nationally, 12 to 3 Eastern Time, alongside Q Myers and Joe and Q on ESPN Radio. You can see him on Get Up, First Take, you name it, all over the ESPN airwaves. It is a betting aficionado. It is Joe Fortenbaugh joining us now. Joe, appreciate you giving us the time. How we doing? What's going on?
Oh, gentlemen, this is a true honor. Am I speaking to two handsome young men who are working in the Evan Cohen studios today?
So, Joe,
is that where you are?
That is correct. Let's get this out of the way. Joe, this is the idea.
This is an honor.
No, it's not. This is the dumbest thing ever for this studio to be named after Evan Cohen. I think, first of all, this station moved locations, physical locations, well after he was gone and out of here, and they still named the studio after him. I think that's the dumbest thing in the world, and it's classic ESPN West Palm.
Colin and Evan have a bit of a rivalry, Joe. I can't put my tongue on why, but they got a bit of a rivalry.
Evan's all pissed off, Joe, because I made an ESPN West Palm Mount Rushmore, and he did not make the cut. And believe it or not, he was not an honorable mention either, and I think Evan's all pissed off about that. So I think that was problem number one.
Well, you know he's a sensitive guy to begin with. Like, to this day, I go on with him every week in the mornings, and he's always convinced. He's like, I really don't think you like me. And it's like, what do I need to do to convince you that we have a good relationship? There are only 1,440 minutes in the day. I cannot commit a bunch of them to making you feel good about our relationship. I tell you I like you. I got to keep it moving. How did the studio get named after him if he doesn't end up on the Rushmore?
Because he's so worried, like you said, about everybody making sure they like him. Evan, we like you. Here, take the studio name, take the water cooler name, whatever you got to do. And they branded this entire thing after Evan Cohen. That's why. You're right. You're giving us a little bit of background.
And then Joe, I get dragged into it, because we're Russo and Rizzo, so Colin makes his bold statements, and I got to wear that one on the chin. I got to wear that one on the chin.
Oh, yeah.
So
Joe, hey, listen, that's what a good team does.
Exactly.
Every now and again, if you remember Strike Force in WWE, Tito Santana, he's going for the forearm. ducks. He hits the model Rick Martel. Martel's out of the ring. They break up. As a team, you're going to catch each other's backslash every now and again. You figure it out. You're pros. You know how it works.
Absolutely.
Got to do it. Joe, appreciate you giving us the time here. Joe, a lot to talk about. First things first, I want to get a sense of your career, too, how you got started at ESPN. I know you have a lot of history on the gambling side of things, of course, with your history in Vegas. You're out in the Bay Area, the whole thing. You're a Penn State grad as well. But give me a sense of going from, I guess, the gambling side of sports, and you still do a ton of that with ESPN, but then you got a segue. You did your radio show, but now ESPN, you almost have to give and take, right? A little bit of gambling here, a little bit of betting analysis here, and then here you got your sports talk radio. Give me a sense of how that really got started for you.
So in 2008, there was a really small website that launched called National Football Post. Football website. I got brought on as an opportunity to kind of manage the site and write about whatever I wanted to write about. The guys were really cool. So I wrote a lot about fantasy, opinion pieces. I had been betting sports since I was little. So after a couple of years, I asked, could I just write some betting pieces? And the thing is, no one was really doing it at that time. Chad Millman at ESPN, Gil Alexander, who's out at VSiN now, he had a podcast, but there wasn't a lot of coverage. And I'm living at home. I'm in Allentown, Pennsylvania, where I grew up. And I eventually realized, look, I got to get out of here. I got nothing going on with my life. I moved to Las Vegas on a whim, right? On a complete whim. I had like a $2,000 credit card that was maxed out. I had no money to my name, but I was writing for this website. I said, I'm going to move out there. This is 2011, August. I'm going to get to meet every bookmaker. I'm going to meet all the pro bettors. I'm going to learn how this business works. So I go out there. I start covering it in depth. I start meeting people. I'm doing all that stuff. As I'm doing that, I'm still writing. I'm doing radio hits. A program director in the Bay Area hears me doing radio hits, and he offers me an opportunity for the morning show on 95.7 The Game up there. So that's in 2014. So my girlfriend at the time, now wife, we move up to San Francisco. I'm doing sports talk radio, so I'm trying to build a media career, but I'm also still doing the betting stuff because my thought process was, look, at some point, if this gets legalized, I'm going to be in a position to cash in on this. The networks are going to need somebody. So I'm doing radio, and then boom, 2019, PASPA gets repealed. Networks start calling. I'm one of the only guys out there that's doing sports betting. And lo and behold, it leads to a part-time gig with ESPN, which led to a full-time gig with ESPN, which led to Wednesdays, yucking it up with your dad, who prevented me, by the way, from meeting Snoop Dogg 2 weeks ago. I got to bring this story up. I'm doing First Take. I'm on with Mad Dog. We're going over our bets. The hit ends, and Snoop Dogg's in the green room, so I want to go meet Snoop Dogg. But Mad Dog looks at me and he goes, what do you like in this Houston game tonight? We didn't go over it. So I give him the analysis. Then he holds me and goes, well, who am I going to parlay this with? I need a parlay leg. I got 2 days. What are we going to do? So I'm going through the whole thing. And by the time it's all said and done, I missed my window to meet Snoop Dogg. He's brought into the studio. I'll never forget Mad Dog for this. So, Colin, you feel free to pass that along to this guy chopping at my ear. And then the Houston bet ends up winning, and I never hear from him on it.
So, Joe, he stinks at betting. You probably know this more than anybody. He's terrible at betting. I'm not sure if he's told you about Fat Rob, his gambling partner out in Rapid City.
Of course.
So him and Fat Rob put together these whimsical parlays that have no basis of it. Maybe the ones that you give have a sense of thought behind it, but anything else, he just does it on his own. I remember one time he took like a University of San Francisco basketball game on the over, and he parlayed that with like the AFC title game. And I'm like, why are you doing this? This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But so I didn't realize that he was actually getting some gambling. You're helping us, Joe. You're gonna keep the house in the Russo name up in New Canaan, Connecticut, if you keep giving him some gambling advice. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, the winner, I never hear back from him on the winners. I was sitting next to him for the Super Bowl. He goes, who do you like? I go, I like Philadelphia big. I never hear about it. The losers, as soon as I see him the next time, he starts wagging the finger. Terrible. What were we doing with Golden State? I'm sitting there, I'm like, how are you going to talk to me about those? We got to talk about the winners too.
So, Joe, you're getting burned there.
Yeah, big time. Joe, you've been doing the gambling obviously for a long time. Clearly, as you just told us, what do you make of the kind of the surge? I mean, let's be honest. Like 10 years ago, we didn't talk about it at all, and now it's front and center right there. What do you think? It's just the surge of gambling in general.
So I like the fact that we've got a lot more opportunity now. Younger people, especially if they're of age and they're going to get into this, they've got legal options where they can deposit money rather than dealing with bookies and fraternities or whatever it is. You can get yourself mixed up in some nasty business there. You're not sure if you're going to get paid all this. So it's kind of out in the open now. It's regulated. It can be safer. there are a lot more options too. Like with the demand, we've got better prop markets, better markets in general than ever before. That said, we've got coverage everywhere. Everybody's shotgunning their advice everywhere, but nobody's interested in education on things like bankroll management. And that's where I hope people spend a little bit of time so they don't get themselves in too deep. It's like anything else, right? Moderation. There is, unless you are going to dedicate your life to this, you're not going to beat this. You're not going to crack it. You're not going to develop an edge. You might find a way here and there to make some money, but you're probably going to be a long-term loser. So treat it like entertainment and don't let it get outside the realm of what's responsible. I know that's like the least exciting thing to talk about, but I really hope people keep that in mind because there's nothing worse. And I've been through it. I've lived it. Where you have the worst NFL Sunday imaginable, settlements coming up. I think a lot of people know what that means from the old days. You got to settle. Your entire night's ruined. You don't sleep, and then you start your next week, and it's brutal. So as long as you're managing the bankroll properly, have a blast. Have at it. Just make sure you realize that's just as important as picking winners and losers.
Yeah, but we got to make sure you keep giving the dogs some winners then, Joe. Okay?
Yeah.
That's all we need.
We're only going to address the losers, but yeah, the winners. You know, he was going to make that bet anyway. I remember the Eagles. He goes, "I was betting the Eagles anyway. You didn't give me that bet."
Yeah, Joe. A couple weeks ago, it was my birthday, and he texted me, and he goes, "I've had a bad week of betting. Just a card for your birthday, if that would make sense." I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And listen, I'm not like, give me money, but it's just one of those. You could sense the sarcasm just off the text message. But Joe Fortenbaugh joining us now on Russo and Rizzo, of course, from Joe and Q over on ESPN Radio, 12 to 3 Eastern Time. Joe, let's talk about the games a little bit. On the NBA side to start, second round has been interesting because a lot of these underdogs, a lot of these lower seeds have surprised. The three of so thus far, without the Warrior game even being played yet, and surprised, especially with the two last night. Give me a sense, is it time to, from your perspective, winning the series outright, is it time to almost like pay up and buy low on the higher seeds here, or do you sense any actual steam coming from these lower seeded teams?
All right, so we have 3 upsets in game 1 of 3 different series, but for 3 different reasons. So it's basically 3 different answers. In the Boston series, I would absolutely still bet Boston to win the series. I'm not going to be the least bit surprised if they win 4 straight. Most likely outcome is Celtics in 6, but I could see Celtics in 5 here. A historically bad night from 3-point range. All right, historically bad. That's all everyone's talking about today. Yet the game still goes to overtime. Like if you're the Knicks and you need a historically bad night from the Celtics in order to win an overtime game, you're in trouble. So that's the way I see it right there. 45 uncontested 3-pointers. That is a defensive problem for the Knicks. I still think the Celtics are going to be fine in this series. I have no worries about them whatsoever. Pacers-Cavs is very interesting because the Pacers are a lot better than anyone gives them credit for. It's something the gambling community's been paying attention to, but now everyone's starting to wake up. It's like, oh, this Pacers team, they can play a little bit. Yeah, but it's a small market team. They don't get a lot of pub because we're still talking about the Luka Anthony Davis trade, 100% of the day. So it's going to come down to the injuries for Cleveland. The Mobley injury is concerning. DeAndre Hunter was brought in. He's got the thumb injury. And you got Garland, who misses game 1. Like, it feels like that toe injury is worse than anyone let on because he had a whole week to get ready and he still missed game 1. So I like the Pacers tonight plus the 9. Should be a little bit of shooting regression, but watch the injury report. I think the spread is just too big, but if everyone's healthy, you might want to get off that. Denver OKC is fascinating because I don't think Denver's going to have the gas tank to win the series. But I think what I saw in game 1 is a big red flag for OKC's title chances. Because if you're going to win this thing, you need a legit number 2 and a good number 3. That's how it works. Boston can do it. They've got 3 top players. But you saw SGA play well last night. And then Holmgren and Williams were MIA. Williams is 5 of 20 from the floor. Holmgren has 12 points, and he goes 0 for 2 on those free throws late in the game. That's what doomed them in the Dallas series last year. You need a 2 and a 3 to step up if you don't have the best player in the series. And the best player in the series is Nikola Jokic on the other side. So maybe OKC survives. I'd still bet that they do. But in terms of winning the whole thing, I'm starting to ask some questions because that was their first big test last night, and they failed in a big way.
Joe, what's been the most surprising part of the playoffs?
Okay. Celtics and Knicks, nothing too surprising there. Cavs, Pacers makes a lot of sense. The Warriors getting by the Rockets wasn't a shock. I think it's got to be Denver getting past the Clippers. And obviously, in hindsight, we're like, all right, it's the Clippers being the Clippers. It's Harden being Harden. That was a really good Clippers team. down the stretch, they look fantastic. Denver's firing their GM. They're firing their coach. They're in a spot where you had them dead, and you blew game 1 and you blew game 4, and ultimately that's what happened. Denver won the swing games, and then the Clippers quit in game 7. I shouldn't be surprised given the Clippers' history and Harden's history, but that was probably the biggest surprise to me is that they didn't find a way to close out that series.
Joe, we got to cut you off here. We appreciate you giving us the time. Looking forward to have you on again soon, doing some betting stuff, but thanks for giving us a little insight into that second round.
My pleasure, boys. Anytime. Thank you so much for having me on.
You got it. Joe Fortenbaugh, of course, of Joe and Q on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur, and most certainly never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee you, if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Getting hotter here in South Florida. I felt it this morning, that early morning humidity. Apparently there was a hailstorm in the area.
Is that right?
With 50-mile-an-hour winds. I don't know if anybody else felt
it. Is everyone all right? Is everyone okay?
The people at the pool were talking about this morning, and
I see.
So they were all. Did anybody get hailed on?
This was a water cooler.
Coach
talk
Patrick,
at the pool
what are
today.
you hailed on? What are you talking about?
Reminder: this is not. You don't own a pool. You don't own an apartment or live in an apartment with the pool. What pool was this?
This was at Lake Lytle, right near the airport. At 4 in the morning.
I thought you were at a college. Never mind.
Wait a minute.
No.
At 4 in the morning?
I got there at like 4:40. 4:42.
People can small talk at 4:40 a.m.
They asked me if I got hailed on, and I'm like, I didn't get hailed on. What are you talking about? So apparently it hailed. I'm not sure if this was last night or the night before.
If someone tried to talk to me at 4:40 in the morning at a random reservoir in Florida, I tell them to get the hell away from me.
It's a public pool.
Christian, I would tell them to get the hell away from me.
Hell comes in those summer months when it's just too hot outside.
Yeah, it was very bizarre. But if it's going to get hotter, because when I woke up, it was hot and humid and sticky. And John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing, they're the type to locally service and make sure that your home is cool and comfortable. They're proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960. Best part is it was a cold start to the year. Now it's going to start getting hot here pretty soon. A high in the 80s all week. Cassidy's highly trained technicians, they can come into your home. You don't even know how old your unit is. You don't know if it needs fixing. You don't know if it needs troubleshooting. That's what Cassidy's highly trained technicians do. They come in, they troubleshoot, the diagnostic checks, the whole thing. Doesn't even matter the brand or the age. You could save yourself a big headache later in the summer if and when your system breaks down. Make sure John C. Cassidy has you covered there. Go check them out today, CassidyAC.com. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat. That was Joe Fortenbaugh of Joe and Q on ESPN Radio joining us just previously. If you missed any of the programs today, you want to listen back, go to Russo and Rizzo on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts, all those great places. We got Steve Politiner coming up at the 5:40 mark, the Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer and the Good Karma Brands president. We got Christian Cat joining us behind the glass at City Place Studios. I think it's time for us to bounce around a little bit. Let's do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Couple of crazy games in the NBA last night. We'll start with the West Coast one because the ending sequence in Oklahoma City, there was a lot going on. You had the Chet Holmgren missed free throws. You had the dumb fouls. You had the game winner from Aaron Gordon. Who do you blame for the Thunder's Game 1 collapse?
I give them their number 2. They didn't necessarily have a second option. Williams, Holmgren was not very good. But my big problem is how they handled the end of the game in terms of fouling, weirdly enough. I thought that them fouling intentionally kind of kept the Nuggets in the game and then not making their free throws converting. I know they according to Dagnall, the head coach of the Thunder, post-game, they've been doing it all year and it's worked. But my takeaway is that don't give them, the Nuggets, more opportunities. Don't get the playoff experienced team. Don't let them stay within 1. Try to close them out. That would have been my takeaway. But I blame the coaching decisions in the fourth quarter more so than the Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgrens of the group.
To that point, I'm never a fan of fouling. I'm never a fan of fouling late in these games. Let this thing play out. I thought Oklahoma City, arguably the better team in the first half. They didn't really, I don't think they had business being in it in the second half with how good the Joker played. And you still had a chance at the end of the game with 2 free throws. Chet Holmgren at the line misses both. He could have made both, folks. Put hindsight 2020. You make both, you go up 4, game's over. So if I had to blame a specific person, it would probably be Chet Holmgren for not making 1 free throw. That's the best I could do. And based off of what Colin said, I don't know. I'm never a fan of fouling in the first place.
Number 2.
The other Game 1 last night also went down to the wire, to overtime. Jalen Brunson, he was a man possessed leading the Knicks to erase a 20-point deficit, stealing Game 1 in Boston. Brunson had 29, not his best game, but they won the game, didn't they? Name for me right now every single player currently in the NBA playoffs that you would take over Jalen Brunson.
To close or just total, just generally?
On the team.
I would take Jokic above it, or just the whole playoffs. Jokic. I would take Gilgeous Alexander. I'd take Curry. I don't think I'd take Butler over Brunson right now. Anthony Edwards, I'd take over Brunson right now. I don't think anybody on the Pacers, unfortunately. I don't think anybody on the Cavs, to be honest with you.
Not even Mitchell? Mitchell would be the only one.
Maybe Mitchell. Maybe.
The
but
only
in terms
one.
of how Brunson is playing right now, listen, Brunson is not an enjoyable watch for me, but he's clutch.
Can I add?
And there's no doubt about that. He's clutch.
Can I add one? And you're going to scold me for saying it? Halliburton.
Halliburton's been able to close games too. I'd take Tatum over.
No. God, no. God, no.
That's tricky.
Ooh,
That's tricky.
I take
Tatum
Brown.
or Brunson.
How about this? I agree with Colin's list. I would add Halliburton and Brown. I'd add Halliburton and Brown.
Yeah.
I'd add those two. That's it,
tricky.
though. Brunson.
You got to add somebody from the Celtics.
It's slander. Oh, it's like, Christian, to your point. You're looking for me to slander.
Take it to court.
I'm slandering the New York Knicks. I don't buy him. I don't buy him in the series. Brunson shot 9 of 23 on the game. I'm so sick of his play style. Maybe I'm just a Knicks hater and a New York hater. But I would take all those guys Colin mentioned over him with Halliburton and Brown on top of that is the sugar on top.
Number 3.
The NBA Executive of the Year was awarded, and think about who constructed the best roster, made the best personnel moves, stuff off the court. It was given to Oklahoma City's VP and GM, Sam Presti. Can you think of a better 5-year, complete 180 turnaround in sports? So remember, the Thunder were in the depths of despair, winning under 25 games in 2021, 2022, and they almost broke the single-season win record this season with 68 wins.
Kyle, can I start? I got one. The Chiefs, Andy Reid, when he got there. That's probably the closest thing I could come to. He went there, completely changed the culture, played Alex Smith, and then Patrick Mahomes became a thing, and he never looked back after that, right? Even when they lost in the playoffs, I call it the D Ford game, still a very entertaining game, and you look back and you go, wow, the Chiefs are going to be really good for years to come. Enter in 3 Super Bowl victories. I think 3, sorry. But I would probably say the Kansas City Chiefs. That's my best guess at this point the last 5 years.
Turnaround for a franchise.
I would probably go with the Chiefs, Colin.
I might do, weirdly enough, Brandon Hyde for the Baltimore Orioles. I think that's actually a decent.
It's ongoing. We haven't reached that peak that we're seeing with the Thunder right now, but we're going to get there.
You haven't done it with the Orioles either.
No, they've been a great, to Colin's point, they've been a good regular season team.
Right.
Gunnar Henderson, great player, great draft picks.
Right.
Guys panning out.
Looking to get, they've always stunk.
We're kind of on the same parallel in terms of years being bad and years being good. It's kind of Orioles and Thunder running side by side.
Right. And you're sort of just waiting for it. They have so much talent. They did such a good job compiling the talent and developing the talent. Now it's just all got to come together at the right time. They're finally starting to spend a little bit of money. I know they didn't keep Burns around, but maybe that was one that popped to mind.
You get what I'm saying with Reed, though, right? And the Chiefs?
Yeah, I could listen to that.
Number 4.
Let's go to the ice in hockey. We talked about it before the end of the first hour of the show. The Panthers lost Game 1 on the road to the Toronto Maple Leafs. They trailed 4-1 heading into the third period, but then the Panthers kind of showed some fight. Eventually only lost by 1 goal, 5-4. Now, if you're a Panthers fan, is a loss and it sucks? Or are you further kind of shown some light? Are you encouraged because of how the Panthers ended Game 1 with a 3-1 goal differential?
I'm not, because, one thing you're happy about is you don't know what the health is going to be of Stolarz. So because of that, maybe, I don't know, you don't want to root for an injury, but the availability will make a difference. But I walk away from that thinking, all right, Toronto, we're not going to beat Toronto in 5. We're not going to beat them in 6. They came out and they punched us in the mouth pretty quickly. They scored 2 in the first period. They were on it. Because of that, I would be a little nervous, but going forward, you got to assume that Florida still feels okay. They just got to win one of the first two. That's the idea.
I got a bad taste in my mouth after that dirty hit.
Yeah, from Sam Bennett.
The Panthers are going to be fine. They've won, they're a seasoned team. They've won a championship. Like they're going to be fine in the series. But God, man, that was a really dirty play. And I know people disagree. And maybe I really just started locking into hockey this year, to be completely honest, moving down here to West Palm Beach and, watching a team like the Panthers. But Christian, I just feel like that's bad mojo with what happened.
You think you're fine. How much of a hole do the Panthers have to dig themselves in order for you to not feel confident?
Probably
in the
0-2, right?
Okay. So,
probably 0-2.
So now if we're one loss away from not feeling fine, I already don't feel fine.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, probably 0-2. And to the point, I think there's theme and magic and mojo with the Maple Leafs. I don't know. Is this their year? We say it every year, but
Destiny.
Is this their year?
Destiny.
Is it
Watch
finally?
out for Toronto. Watch out for them. There's something different about
And
them.
Colin was on him a month ago. He was.
Hold on. This is early, Mike.
But you were on him a month ago.
This might be classic Maple Leafs, them going up 3-1, then the Panthers rolling back and beating them in 7.
I believe in signs, man, and stuff like that. Everything happens for a reason. I don't know, man. Might be something there.
Number 5.
Well, I'm going to lower the music a little bit because this is tough to talk about. It is. Never easy to dive into topics like this because we work in sports. Sports is the sandbox. Sports is where we get to have some fun, take a break from the real world a little bit, but tragedy has struck the Rizzo estate. It's come to my attention that Mike's washing machine has broken. Mike, remind the good people what you do with a typical laundry schedule and why this is a pretty big deal.
I do laundry every day. I wash the towel I use twice a day. Every day. I have 7 towels. I have a towel for every day of the week. I go to the gym 5-6 days a week. Every time I go to the gym after, I throw it in the wash and wash it. So an average load of Mike Rizzo every single day is what I wore to work, what I wore at the gym, and the towel that I use twice a day. I went home today. We were here early for the sales for the ESPN West Palm sales meeting today in the Palatiner parking lot. And I went back to my apartment today to work out and do everything I didn't do in the morning. And I get done working out. There's a towel in there that I didn't hit actually there was a load in there that I hit the buzzer on last night to do it. I was going to throw it in the in the dryer. I pull it out. I smell the gym clothes, go, "Oh!" Yeah, that didn't get washed. I look inside, the pod's still in there. I go, "What's going on?" So I try to start it again, and it's working. But the problem is no water's coming out. It's not doing the cycle, and it's not spinning. My washer is busted, and I put in a service claim. I don't know when they're going to be able to get to me.
DEFCON 1.
Yeah, it's all hell is broken loose.
You are uniquely equipped to deal with this specific situation.
I am, but I told Christian I have 3 gym outfits. I have 3 shorts that I wear to the gym, and I have 3 shirts that I wear to the gym. And like I said, I'm continually washing them. I do laundry every day. I have a towel for every day of the week, all in rotation. My routine is in complete. I am flummoxed. That's the best word I could come up with right now. I am flummoxed with my washer being out of commission. And on top of that, my toilet, I had to make 2 service claims. My toilet, I'm sitting in my apartment. I went to the bathroom. I flushed the toilet, and the water was going for like an hour. So
wait, I can fix that for you.
I got 2 things going on right now.
Cancel the second one. I will go to I'm going to follow you home today because I learned how to do this, and I want to spread the wealth. You got a bad flapper. Listen.
I've actually self-diagnosed this myself.
We can be adults.
I just don't want to break it.
Some guys just get bad flappers.
Okay.
I can fix your flapper.
At the same if they're coming in to fix I appreciate Christian. I really appreciate you offering. If they're coming in to fix the washer, they might as well just look at the toilet, right?
It's not the toilet, it's a flapper.
A flapper.
So how many days of no laundry
can I realistically go?
Yes.
I could go. I mapped it out. I could go till Saturday until I'm in real trouble.
He's like a doomsday
I could go
prepper.
until Saturday.
All right, so this is 4 days. That's 4 days.
The clock is ticking.
That's
though.
5 days.
I could go until Saturday because I could. Here's the thing too. In my closet, I could have other gym stuff in rotation, and the problem is, I told you I'm trying to lose some weight. Some of the old gym stuff is a bit tight, but I could get away with it.
What's going to be our sign?
You're going to be wearing like an adult small?
No, I'm an XL. I'd have to wear large shorts.
All right, that's not a big deal.
I'd have to wear large shorts,
That's
but
not
I'm
a
an
big
XL.
deal. That's
now,
not a big deal.
Coming into work.
Oh, I'll be good.
How long are you good for going to work? I don't know.
I told you till Friday. Because I have 3 pairs of pants that I really like wearing. 2 of them are good. 1 of them are out of commission.
You can double wear pants.
This shit. All right, let me chime in really quick. Christian has no hill to stand on here because our office.
Yeah, this
Jess, who works in our office, who's basically like make sure the house is not burning down. The office.
She's got an official title. I never remember it, Jess. I'm sorry.
She's like
I never remember the title.
Relations director.
I never remember the title.
Point is, she recently, over the weekend, got a air freshener for Christian's producer room.
Yeah, this is tough.
Kyle, can I tell this story? I have, because, listen, I hang out in our spare production room. I turn that into where I am. I set up my desk in there, whatever. So Christian's production room and my production room they're back to back. They're right next to each other. And a couple of our teammates walk in the hallway to get to the kitchen had made the complaint to Jess, who's...
Oh, wait, a couple?
That was her words. So a couple of teammates, Jess herself and a couple of others, made the complaint when they walked by my production room and Christian production room that there's a stench. There's something. And Jess, who handles these things, walked into both rooms. And she deducted that Christian's room was the one that had the must And
in
you were
it.
lucky because you're right there.
I was there. I thought I'd listen. If something was up, I knew nothing was up because, guys, I do laundry and whatever. I'm not saying Christian.
Now. All right.
I'm not saying Christian's now. All right, but Jess looked at the both of us and said, "I went into your room and I went into your room," and she pointed at Christian and she goes, "Your room was the stinky one. It smelled like stinky feet, and I put an air freshener in there, and it's already made a difference." So Christian, in a sense, was told, "Hey, dude, you smell like crap," and we put an air freshener in the
What's your reaction to this?
This feels unfounded. Maybe I'm nose blind. Got interns in here every single day.
Well, hold on. They're not going to... No intern in the history of interns has ever outwardly spoken to somebody who works full-time saying, you smell bad.
Christian, I told you guys know how my nose is. Can I be completely honest? I thought it was the vents.
Oh,
the rats are in there. Hang on. Remember, we had a rat problem up there. I thought it was the vents. I wasn't blaming Christian for that.
I think this is a bad
I smelled
look.
something, but at the same time, if I'm being completely transparent and being completely honest, did not smell it today.
Christian, bad look for you. Mike Rizzo, doomsdaying. He has no washing machine,
Correct.
so it's DEFCON 5.
Christian, here's the thing.
DEFCON 1 means it's normal.
That room, Christian, might be smelling like stinky feet if I don't get my washer fixed here.
Let's ask Steve Politiano about this on the flip side of things as we close out next, bringing Steve Politiano, the Good Karma Brands president. Stick around for it. Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Hey, Steph Prince here, General Manager of ESPN West Palm, to tell you about a team that has meant a lot to me and this community for a long time. Bob and the team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning have been helping me stay cool for years, whether at home or in the office. And living in South Florida with 3 kids, I don't know what I'd do without them. Family owned and operated, serving Royal Palm Beach and beyond since 1980. Let the knowledgeable and trained team at Bradley help you with your residential and commercial needs. Installation, repair, seasonal maintenance, upgrades of all makes and styles and models of HVAC equipment, and so much more. Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning does things right the first time and makes the process smooth, stress-free, and most importantly, keeps you cool. Give them a call at 561-793-7497. That's 561-793-7497 or bradleyair.com. Any need, big or small, trust the amazing team at Bradley Heating and Air Conditioning.
Hi, Kevin Dalton here from the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs. Time to start getting your ride ready for summer. Stop by the Unlimited Auto Wash Clubs and try out one of our best wash packages, the Ultimate Plus. It gives you everything your car needs, inside and out, including our ceramic graphene coating. Or try one of our unlimited monthly plans, starting as low as $34.95 a month, or with inside and out plus tire shine starting as low as $49.95 a month. Visit any one of our 6 convenient locations or call 561-WASH-ME-TOO.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got the Knox in the house, right? And I go by the name of Wyclef. I bought the band. And we need all the sexy ladies to report on the dance floor. And you know my slogan. No fighting and no
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
We got some good action tonight. You got Warriors-Timberwolves Game 1. You got Pacers-Cavs. A lot to look forward to over this part of the week was you got the second round of both the Stanley Cup and the NBA playoffs currently. So you might as well sprinkle a little action, have a little fun over on Hard Rock Bet. Go download the app today on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store. Go to hardrock.bet online to get started. Hard Rock covers both ends of the spectrum in terms of if you're the brand new player or the really experienced player. Caters to both sides. Both sides are accommodated. That's how easy, that's how fun the app actually is. If you don't even know what to bet, go check out the Discover page and you can tap and tag along on just what other people put together, what other users put together in terms of parlays, picks, profit boosts. You name it. Best part is you get $100 back in bonus bets if and when your first bet does not hit. It's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT. So Mike is going to start smelling bad here in just a couple days because he doesn't have a washing machine that works, and this is like DEFCON 5 for him. And Christian's cat, our producer, already smells bad because we had to get a air freshener in the producer room.
Clarification, per Jess, that production room smelled like stinky feet.
So let's loop in Steve Politino, the Good Karma Brands president, the Palm Beach Sports Commission Hall of Famer. Steve, we'll start with Christian. Jess Welke, who works with us, who's our community relations and ESPN events supervisor, she had to diagnose where a specific smell was. And she didn't like it. She didn't like that little hallway where the producer room is. And, you know, Christian lives in this room. So she put a air freshener in it, saying that there was that multiple teammates, quote, had a problem with, and there was an air freshener to fix the problem. Steve, your takeaway.
I think it's a good job by Jess trying to make sure that the office environment is, a welcoming place, for all. I think it's a tricky spot there. Christian's not the only one that's in there. So
hold on. If there's going to be one culprit, Steve, if there's going to be a culprit here, if something is wrong in that room, it's Christian.
But why would the feet? He wears shoes and socks, right?
Here's
Is he barefoot in there?
So Steve, let me give you the lowdown how this thing shook out. You know, I hang out in our production studio. I kind of made that, my area where I'm at. She looked at the both of us and said, it was either your room or it was either your room. And I diagnosed that your room, and she pointed right at Christian and said, smells like stinky feet. I put an air freshener in there, and we already fixed the problem. I thought it was a tough look, and I felt bad for Christian, honestly. You got to feel for him at that point.
But why? I don't get why it would be him. Why is it him?
Thank you.
Why, who?
Because he's in there. Listen, Steve.
We know we see it every
Uncle
time
Steve.
there's a full moon.
Uncle Steve.
But this guy is in there all day.
He's in there for 8 hours. Fair play to him. Does a great job. But he's
Steve,
in there from
else.
11:30 to 7:30.
Steve, there's nobody else. And the funny part is you haven't heard from Christian yet because Christian has nothing to say here because he knows it's him.
I do not know it's me. I don't know how to defend myself, but I know it's not me. I've been framed.
Yeah.
This is a whodunit.
He's saying he knows it's not him.
Now, we've had problems with the ventilation system before, Steve. So
yeah, I saw some note the other day. Everyone has to stay home because they're fixing the ventilation.
And that's why I felt really bad for Christian. I thought he was getting it put in a bad spot. But at the same time, I don't know.
But stinky feet, that's even different. That's not BO. That is specific. Feet don't stink through socks and sneakers. Have you ever met anyone whose feet stink through socks and shoes?
Impossibility.
Ever. In Earth.
I don't think so.
Not possible.
And Christian, let's solve this caper. Christian.
Yeah.
Do you wear shoes and socks at all times? Have you ever taken them off?
I don't think this answers yes.
Every single day.
I don't think
I've taken them off.
I don't think that answers yes. Yeah.
I wear socks and shoes every single day, and I've never taken them off at work. I respect this workplace too much. Too much blood, sweat, and tears have gone into the City Play studios, to the Evan Cohen studio for me to take my shoes and socks off.
Let's be honest here. Do you shower every day?
Yes. Every morning, not at night.
You buying that?
No. I'm not buying that.
I am. Now, are you guys saying you don't buy it because
I don't think I buy it?
Well, Steve, the smell's not coming out of thin air.
I don't think the smell is 100% Christian. Let me say that. I think it's unfair to sit here and go,
it's partly you. It's partly you.
Maybe
you're the other guy.
Maybe.
Brian? Don't say it's Brian.
I personally don't. Listen, Steve, I know it's not me. Okay, I know it's not me. But
you're saying it's Brian?
I think it's a mixture of the ventilation system and us and someone being in there for 8 hours. Okay, it's a long time to be in.
There's only
somewhere.
one.
It's a long time to be in somewhere.
You just said it's Christian without saying it's Christian.
No, I want to do an experiment.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to be here on Friday. I'm going to take that air freshener with me, and it should smell just fine if I'm not here. And no air freshener, clean it up. It should be just fine.
I mean, it could be a cumulative effect. I don't know if we'll get it in one day, but I hear you.
Smokers' living room and the wallpaper's going to come off the wall.
Seeped into the walls, Christian. Now, Steve Palazzino with us now on Russo and Rizzo. Steve, on the other side of things, Mike Rizzo, who we've talked about before, how he does laundry every single day, how he's got 900 towels, and how he's very particular in terms of how he has to wash the clothes off his back the day they are worn. His washing machine has just broken down. So he no longer has a washing machine for the foreseeable future, and he is panicking like you wouldn't believe.
I'm in trouble, Uncle Steve. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, well, I mean, we told you months ago that this was going to happen. In fact, I believe if we harken back, I'm not sure if that segment was recorded and being sent for a Marconi Award, but what I would say is we told you that it was. I told you that it was inconsiderate to the machinery to be putting that kind of pressure, on it on a recurring basis, if I'm not mistaken. And now, what we knew was going to happen has come true. So that's what you get. So now what are you going to do? Go to a laundromat every day for your borderline disorder of having to wash whatever you wore that day? You go to a laundromat?
I mapped this out. I got till Saturday when I'm in some real trouble. I got until Saturday. And I already filled out the service request form through my beautiful apartment complex. And I'm gonna trust in the process that by Saturday they'll be able to come and fix my machine. And I think it's something very minuscule. I really do. Now, it could be. Now, Uncle Steve, I'll keep you updated. I'm sure you can't wait to hear what happens with this. But I think it's something.
Mm-hmm.
I think the drain. I think it's something with the drain because water's not coming out. And I learned through the manual, if water's not in there, it doesn't spin. So I think something's wrong with the drain. I think it's blocked up a bit.
Wow. Well, I'm at the edge of my seat. So I mean,
Steve, you gonna let Mike come to your house to wash his clothes?
Yeah. Can I come to the Politzine or Manor and wash some clothes this weekend?
Well, what about Collins or maybe Christian's? It doesn't sound like Christian's using his washing machine.
I'm not. Well, Colin won't let me come over, and he doesn't want to come over my place because there's too many places.
There's too many places to sit in Mike's apartment.
There we go.
Too many what?
Places to sit. He has too many chairs.
Oh yeah. I know that makes you very uncomfortable. And Colin's no picture of health either.
Right,
so
exactly.
It's not like,
exactly. I'm more Steve,
no idea.
I'm
Who
worried
knows
I'm going to
what's
go
going
in
on
there. There's going to be tumbleweeds. You know what I mean? Just going across you have no carpet, right? You don't have a carpet.
I have an area rug.
Okay, sorry.
I have an area rug.
You guys should do a contest. Who would be willing to do your laundry?
I do my laundry.
Steve.
No, for Mike, because he doesn't have a place right now.
Steve,
Steve, you deflected like you wouldn't believe. You're not letting him come to the Politziner home to wash his clothes, Mike Rizzo. This is the leader of our company.
Wife and sure. If Mike's in a jam and he's sure, Mike can come up to my place. I feel like he would respect the settings.
I would.
Are put in place. The tumble dry and whatever.
I would.
Right, but when he comes
hang on, I'd have to work
the second day in a row. Mike's upstairs in the laundry room.
Well, I wouldn't abuse it like that. Here's the thing. I would work.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do your same thing of, hey, I used one hand towel. Can I come over? And
I would work with Mrs.
do the laundry.
I would work with Mrs. Politziner because, as I know, the tight operation that I run, you don't just go and start screwing around with someone's washer and dryer.
As long as neither of us had to fold, always a big battle in the house. Who has to do the folding?
Interesting. Steve.
So if neither of us have to fold.
Okay.
Roger.
So Mike needs to figure out how to wash his clothes. He's going to start smelling here pretty soon. Christian already smells.
Not true.
Stinky feet, as Jess says, Steve. Stinky feet.
It's a bit of must. It's musty.
That is a pungent odor. And that is not a reputation.
And the thing is, Jess is a straight shooter. She's
she
not
is,
going to lie
and
about
that's
this.
why I said.
She's not going to lie about this.
Listen. I'm scared of her, Steve.
We had a teammate many years ago who will not be named. But we had a teammate many years ago, and we traveled a lot for shows and broadcasts and remotes. And he got the nickname Cheetos.
Oh my God! Do you ever tell him?
Oh. Yeah, he openly told him. His nickname was Cheetos, like Cheetos toes. Cheetos.
Yeah, but
and he just smelled
he never improved.
So Steve, what you're telling me is he smelled like musty cheese.
Yeah, I mean,
I tell him, Steve.
I tell him. Smelly work environment.
I tell him.
And did he do anything about it?
I'd be brutally honest with him.
Did he do anything about it?
Yeah, he changed roles, so we didn't have to smell his feet anymore.
You got rid of him? Oh my God!
No,
Christian, count your days, my friend.
All I'm saying is, there's a worse smell in the world than Cheetos.
Oh my God!
You don't eat smelly socks.
But yeah, Jess was brutal. I felt bad how brutally honest she was, to the point where our content director and boss Brian Rowitz was crying laughing.
You felt so bad that we did a 25-minute segment on it. That's how bad you felt about the situation.
I guess you're onto something. You know what, Christian? You might be onto something.
I feel so.
You might be onto something there. You might be onto something there. But she set it up.
Listen,
we had to do this.
If Christian stinks, we need to address that.
Yeah, we had to do this. We had to do this. So.
If he stinks, we need to address this problem. And I was thinking at the leader of our company, looping him in would be a good little push.
That actually would not be. That would not be. If he's creating like an uncomfortable work environment, you probably want to talk to HR. It would not be my
not
area.
be you? We don't go to you for that? Steve, tell us what's going on with Duffy's really quick.
What a great appearance this happened to be. Really fascinating content.
At least we didn't ask you about the Knicks.
I was close. If we had 5 more minutes, we would have had you break down the Knicks for us.
Yeah, I'm stunned that Colin didn't ask me about my favorite team. Duffy Sports Grill once again voted the best sports grill in 2024 with award-winning burgers and wings. Weekday lunch deals, including the Duffy's Double Play, starting at just $7.99 for Duffy's Double Play. And then you have the famous 2-for-1 drinks, 80 TVs, so no matter what you're watching, is on WsMVP.com. Also, I'm going to little add here because when you were coming out of the break, I heard you mentioning, or I heard the Hard Rock bet. My lock of the century. I put it in Hard Rock bet, and it's not a big gamble, but the money line on the T-Wolves. Goodbye.
Thank you, Uncle Steve.
Steve likes the T-Wolves tonight. Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Christian Cat saying so long. It's been Russo and Rizzo right here on ESPN 106.3. Back tomorrow, 4 to 6 p.m. We'll see you then. It's been Colin Russo, ESPN 106.3.